and give a good until I feel like the video is clear enough that anyone who's just hitting end level can understand what I mean by the fundamentals of Bazaka Guardian. Okay, right now we're at 50 out of 60. Where's the last 10 points going to? Can anyone guess? Well, you can look at my hotbar of the skills that's still in red. And guess what's in red right here that isn't a god skill? Parry. Parry, it's parry. Like, this for me is a security blanket, especially when fighting guardians. And I'll explain in due time why it's my security blanket for guardians. This is for parry is an anti stun lock defense in my opinion. It's a time buyer. It buys you time. Let's say you use sand dart, your invincible is on cooldown. You can parry, and the beautiful thing about parry versus shield block, parry, once you use it, yeah, it takes some action points, not much. But once you use it, even if your AP is drained to zero, they don't force you out of parry. You can stay in parry with zero AP. And with AP drain heavy Sorks and other classes, parry is more reliable than shield block, my friend. So anyway, parry. I recommend parry. I mean, I say it's almost a must. Unless you really believe you have awesome dodging skills and awesome dragons. If you have awesome dragons, you can, if you're fast with the if you're fast with the mounted switching and healing yourself and then switching back and that all that type of madness, then fine. Dance without parry, see how it goes. Try it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And if you're not a parry guardian, then I suggest you either go with dexterity 10 out of 10. But battle cry, I would save battle cry in my explanation for battle cry on a Pizarre video. I will do Pizarre two-hand video. And I might do Pizarre one-hand video as well, but let's just start with this. So 10 out of 10 parry. This gives you a strict set of skills you need to survive now. You have Sand Dart for mobility, you have Invincible for anti-CC, and you have Parry to buy you time and rotate your cooldowns effectively. Because look, Parry's done, and guess what's back again? You have Sand Dart, and you have another move, and you have heals and whatever you do to dance around your cooldown timers to give you an effective rotation of survivability. And I'm gonna show it all in effect how you survive using two-hand guardian. It's gonna be pretty hard versus Sorks though. Sorks will still be your kryptonite if you're not careful. Oops, wrong button. Okay, let's go down to the God Masteries. This one is completely your choice when it comes to whether or not you want to switch and use the one-hand buff. It's completely legitimate. Trust me, it is. I've dealt with the devs and everything since my first Volume 1 video. Ongoing with the what's legit and what's not legit. Don't give a fuck. So, anyway. Bizarre, one hand, has Light of Fortitude. And you can easily switch to your one hand to use this buff. Just to grant you longer times of immunity. And honestly, I use the 10% one because I like to buff my dragon more. One, if your dragon is free of stuns, he can get his healing winds and life reflux off easier. And as well, if you're in a party, you can be a two-hand guardian and still show a little bit of support to your friends and not be a selfish douche who's trying to get kills, even though rangers and other classes are way more effective than you anyway, bro. So, yeah, help a friend out. Get that skill. It'll light up at the bottom. Drag it down to somewhere comfortable and use it. I wouldn't use it as a. I don't know. It depends on the player. I would. It depends on who I'm fighting. If I'm fighting a Sork, it's a good icebreaker because the first thing a Sork's probably going to try to do is land the AP drain on you. It's just at least the AP drain Sorks are gonna do. Two-hand Sorks. It's probably land the AP drain on you, and with that within that time you have a set window to do a certain amount of damage on them. And right now, Sorks are bugged, I think. One of their CC breakers or stun breakers are not working, so right now it's not necessarily a hard time for Guardians versus Sork setups. So next, let's go to the actual Bazaka God Masteries. Let me stress this again. I would go with the critical hit chance fanatism over the physical damage one. Critical hit chance is everything to me. It's not because of damage. Yes, the damage is nice, but it's because of heals. I love heals. It is it is the comfort blanket to anything you do while fighting. And you just need to have a good rotation of your heals as you fight. And don't get tunnel vision, guys. I mean, I know sometimes the lure of killing someone when they have 40% HP and you feel like you just burst it down somehow is very tempting. But always keep a good, patient, clear mind and keep your heals going. Okay, so critical hit chance, increase the crit chance of your hits, obviously, and the crit chance of your divine heals, as well as, I think it's just divine heals that has a crit rate. So divine heals. So that is on the right side, critical hit chance, fanatism. You will want to make that 1 out of 10, and you will want to choose the blade dance that recovers soul points. Yes, it's less damage than the split effect blade dance, but it doesn't leave you Bazaka players shit out of luck. If you go to Bazaka and you have, let's say, no chance of killing anyone, but they DPS you down to 1 HP, and you have no soul points, and you try to summon a dragon, and he's getting stun locked, and then you just die. No, with this, as long as you're landing hits on players with the blade dance, your soul points will gradually return, and as they gradually return, you will have some type of oh shit sacrifice or use a sacrifice soul skill or oh shit pop other heals while holding parry to get your HP back to full, and you won't be as reliant on your dragon being stun locked or not. So let's go with that, and you would want to make this 10 out of 10. This increases the amount of soul points you get per hit as well as the damage. Next is ripping blades. Ripping blades is my second favorite skill on the Bazaka Guardian. One, it has a decent range, be it AoE or forward. I would recommend forward because it does more concentrated damage, and the range is still decent enough. So let's say 10 out of 10 ripping blades. One, because you want as much soul point regen as possible as a guardian. Guardians really need the most soul points because if you're a good guardian, you're gonna drink in like water because you'll be rotating warlord and this among other buffs like adrenaline surge or heals. Okay, with that being said, you put that 10 out of 10. Make sure you choose ripping blades that says forward. Make that 10 out of 10, guys. Okay, next you want to choose the blade stand. The blade storm, I think it's called. Yeah, I said blade stand. Blade storm is actually this one is not really. There's no really right or wrong for this or good or bad PvP wise. I go with the one that's closer. It gives me a better stable stun lock chain, which is the one on the right. It does less damage, but I feel like I land more hits because I'm not springing all over the place like a rabbit. So this blade storm is always nice. It's almost a it is a definite stun lock. You cannot jump slide out of it. Um, Jump sliding is actually a technique I used and showed a lot of people, which is just a backspace with a spam of the space bar, and you can just literally lag slide. I say slag out of hits slowly but surely using the intervals of ping that the enemy has to the server, which is just online gaming 101. There's going to be lag. There's things that you can do to prevent lag. There's things you can do to get around lag. As long as you're not using a third party program, I say it's whatever. You're smarter than the other guy and you can rage about it. So let's see. Warlord befalls. Yeah, enough said. 2% physical damage, 2% crit chance. Choose each or other one. Honestly, it's not gonna make that big of a difference. I choose crit chance because it's a habit for me. So crit chance. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna talk about another thing that separates the bad from the good when it comes to guardians, and that is soul skills.